Beta.
Hey.
This fucking scumbag.
Good thing I marked it off as not for kids. All
So
right.
Aki's been really lucky this game so far.
Yeah, let me go right from the beginning. I'm just going to play it from the start and commentate over the first handful of turns. Welcome, everyone, to
Wait,
the.
hold on. Are you recording?
Yeah, it's a stream, but because they already started the game, I just want to get the first handful of turns, and then we could just like live commentate over it.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll just say the beginning parts first. So, welcome to everyone who is watching this, whether it's live or in the postcom or the replay. This is the UDL Season 2 Finals. Now, if you are not fully familiar with our league, we are doing 3 tiers this season. So, it's both, or all three of ORAS, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and Sword and Shield. So, we drafted 3 teams in each tier. And um, had 3 games for each during the regular season. The 2 people who managed to make it all the way through the regular season and the playoffs were Rob Jr. and AkkiVGC. Rob is representing the Y Conference as the Y Conference champion, and Aki is the X Conference champion, the GOAT. And yeah, this matchup is looking really hype. They all have some pretty busted teams in all 3 tiers, and they're just phenomenal players. So should be an exciting one. I'll just commentate over the first like 10 to 15 turns they had so far, and then we'll just go over it live as we're going to be watching these games live. So Rob leads with his Diancie, and Aki leads with his Keldeo. Now the mega mechanic in Oras, if you've forgotten, is that you don't gain the extra speed until the following turn. So Aki fires off a Scald, knowing that the Keldeo would outspeed, even though Mega Diancie is naturally faster, and then gets a Toxic off on the Tangrowth as now just gets up his screen. This is moving kind of fast. So Aki's got up his screen while Rob was able to get up the Stealth Rocks, and as he did that, Rob got in his Jirachi as Aki doubled into the Gliscor as his best defensive check probably to the Garchomp. Now on this turn, it's an interesting one because while he gets his Toxic Orb, the Jirachi goes for the Icy Wind and misses. And that's an interesting miss because Icy Wind is such a weak move and the light screen is up. It would have been really interesting to see how much damage that did because it might not even be enough to 2-hit KO Gliscor or do like really meaningful damage, but because Gliscor is 4 times weak to it and has kind of a lower Spadef, if this Jirachi is boosted at all or just very special attack invested, then that might have actually done a lot and would have allowed him to go for another Icy Wind on the next turn. You can see Aki just gets up his Stealth Rocks. So definitely an unfortunate miss for Rob. But like I said, I'm not sure how much that would have done just because there was a light screen up and it's a weak move, but we'll see. So here, on his next turn, the Zapdos comes in as Aki just goes for the safe Earthquake and now is going to pivot out into his Chansey. And interestingly enough, the Zapdos does not reveal to have leftovers. So here he Volt Switches out, revealing that he is not choiced either, and goes into his Mian Shao on the Chansey, as Aki is just going to go for the Wish, and now pivot back into his Klefki, knowing that maybe he could take an HJK from a Mian Shao. But here comes the Garchomp, as Aki's just going to go right for the Reflect here, but actually take a Life Orb Fire Blast from this Garchomp. Probably Life Orb with some special attack investment. I don't know if he's going to have the HP Ice or the Draco or what, but that allows Garchomp to handle something like Gliscor a lot more efficiently. So now comes in the... unfortunately, Aki goes for the Toxic here on the Garchomp, and Rob misses the second Fire Blast, which easily would have knocked out this Klefki. So another really unfortunate turn for Rob, as now Rob's going to pivot into his Jirachi, which this Klefki can't do too much to, but he actually hits him with a foul play, which was a good prediction on Aki's part. It covered the potential Rachi switch and also probably would have knocked out the Chomp from there. So that was a pretty good turn as he gets a nice chip on the Rachi, which reveals to be leftovers. And now he gets up the light screen, but the Iron Head crits him through the Reflect, which I think probably wouldn't have knocked him out otherwise. So here, on the Darkrai, Rob brings in Mian Shao, and that Dark Pulse does very little. even with Life Orb, so that's like definitely an assault vest Mian Shao, which looks like a pretty solid bring here. As Rob's gonna call his Mian Shao back at that regenerator, and then Psychic on the incoming Garchomp, as this is likely going to be the sack in this situation. So scouting for the Psychic was a good play, because that probably would have knocked the Mian Shao out from that range, but now that he comes in full, he'd be able to live it. So he goes into Gliscor, and the Mian Shao just U-turns, bringing in his Zapdos, as here he's, I guess, likely to click Hidden Power Ice. The light screen is down, or he just actually just end up going for the Roost, as Aki catches that and goes for Toxic. Good play on Aki's part, as now he's got both the Tangrowth and the Zapdos Toxic, which is definitely really good for him, as now he Volt switches out into the Chansey, and the Jirachi comes in, as Aki goes out into the Keldeo, and the Rachi goes for the sub here. So this should be interesting. I'm curious to see what kind of move the Rachi has for the Keld, and it is packing the Psychic here. So they both will really be substitute and leftovers, as now Aki is going to pivot out into his Azelf here, which takes the Psychic pretty well, as it's a resisted hit, but he could break the sub with the Flamethrower. And the Icy Wind is going to be pretty nice for Rob here, as it lowers the speed of the Azelf, but allowing him to knock it out with the Iron Head. But Aki's able to pivot into his Keldeo, which takes the Iron Head nicely, and now goes for the Calm Mind, as he just ends up eating the Psychic, and he takes it decently well, but obviously the next one is going to be able to knock him out, so I would imagine he's going to want to Scald here and get some damage off on the Jirachi, as Rob ends up going hard into his Tangrowth, which takes the Scald nicely. I'm guessing that's an Assault Vest variant, as here he goes for the substitute, and Rob Giga Drains to break that sub. These guys are moving fast. I haven't been able to catch up. So here he goes for the Focus Blast, and that is able to knock out the Tangrowth. So that is big for Aki for sure, as the Diancie comes in, which will probably be EV to outspeed this Keldeo. So interesting position that they're in right now. You got anything to say about it, Tony?
Bro, you joined turn 9 and it's turn 31, my guy.
They're playing
Speak
fast,
a little
huh?
bit faster.
That was funny.
Bro, you actually made this a post-com almost.
I really did.
So, a couple key terms. Obviously, the screens did help Aki pivot into things and kind of scout damage outputs. If Jirachi did go for that Icy Wind, you would kind of see that it wasn't specially invested in attack, which would have maybe told Aki that he has attack EVs. Well, actually, no. He might. It's hard to say what EVs are in Jirachi because he does have Psychic for the Keldeo. So Aki made some GOAT plays going for subbing on the Keldeo versus the Jirachi, ends up going out into the Azelf and use Azelf to break the Jirachi sub to then Calm Mind with the Keldeo to lower down the Jirachi. I did really like those series of events. The GOAT just stayed in, predicting Rob to go for U-turn, predicting the Gliscor, because he's most likely a really bulky Choice Scarf Manchow. With regen, I think it just showed its... Wait, no, it's not regen.
Yeah, it is regen.
Oh, it is regen, okay.
Do you think it's not AV with the way it took that Dark Pulse?
Well, it could be max, like, HP and Choice Scarf.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's Life Orb, but Aki literally never runs 252 EVs on anything, so it's probably like 20 EVs in special attack. So right now, obviously, Rob really got on in the back foot, missing the Fire Blast with Garchomp in a couple plays, but you know, Aki really pulled this dude's teeth out when he went. Got won the exchange of this Azel versus Jirachi. That was huge. And then this Gliscor obviously being the biggest threat so far, because Manchow doesn't really want to deal with Gliscor. He's probably what, HP Ice here? He knew, yeah, so forcing the... Oh, and he's Protect on the last move, so...
Yeah, I think Rob Manchow expecting Aki to go into something like Chansey to sponge a hit from from Diancie, but
Right.
yep. So yeah, Aki's in a fantastic position here, as the fact that he's got the Zapdos on a timer, and then this Gliscor just probably, I'm pretty sure that Manchow is a Assault Vest, and I don't think it's got HP Ice. It might, but I don't think so. So this Gliscor just
And even if he
guarantees that.
does, and even if he does, Gliscor has Protect, so you can obviously scout what move. If Gliscor's or if Manchow Scarf, you can see what it's locked into. So right now, Rob's actually trying to PP stall the EQs
Right.
because he's pressure Zapdos.
Yep.
And Aki's trying to prevent the roost. And now Zapdos dies to rocks. Unless he roosts here. Nope.
Yep. Aki.
So right, yeah.
Who's that? Who joined?
Yeah, it's me, boys.
Oh my
Let's
lord!
go.
Look at this
Wow. We have the rest
Shit.
of Rushmore on the call.
Hey, Aki hit me up at like 4:45, but to like wake up.
You sound so tired.
Dude,
This
I'm
boy,
wrecked.
he came in the call. What's going on, boys? With the deepest voice of all time.
Right? I can't believe
Shit,
anyone's
is it a
allowed
good
to have a
game?
voice that like calming and beautiful.
Just trying to like.
Yeah, it looks like
Oh yes.
the goat's doing quite well. He definitely got some nifty luck here and there, but he's been playing it really well. And
The luck didn't matter in the sense it just gave him better positioning. But I think Aki made a little bit of a maybe because right now you'd have to think Rob's win condition right now is going to be Manchow because Manchow obviously if Gliscor's so Gliscor doesn't have Roost. If Gliscor ended up coming in on that HP Ice, Manchow could have late game won there, but he probably might not be able to have HP Ice. So
yeah,
Rob's only way to win right now is Manchow.
yeah, and it's a solid.
And he is AV.
I was pretty sure he was AV with how well it took that, because I know like Regenerator makes everything seem like it's so bulky, but I had Manchow on my Gen 7 team, and on its own, it is just not bulky. Like, you need to run Assault Vest for it to really take any hits. So, yeah, I don't think Rob can win this.
Yeah, so right now,
Yep, Rob.
you go Diancie,
Yep.
game's over.
Yep, that was game over. And that was a good game. Aki, without a doubt, outplayed him, but the only, like, I guess, gray area is with those misses is like how it really put Rob on the back foot. It like kind of forced him to get every play right, and if Aki was able to kind of capitalize on any of them, which he did, then he was just pretty much going to be smooth sailing to the win. But I think that Aki, regardless, had the better build and play throughout this game.
Yeah, I mean, once again, Aki, he made a lot of really solid middle playgrounds too. For example, he ended up getting momentum with Chansey mid game. He ended up going for Wish to then go out into the Klefki on the Manchow because obviously he could live any one hit and get the health back. And he kind of predicted Rob, if literally no matter what Rob did with the Manchow, Klefki kind of was like a check all play and created momentum, gaining the Wish and could screens up. So he made a lot of really good things going on.
He absolutely did. I think he totally earned this game one, regardless of the luck. I think he was the better player in this game. And yeah, I'm excited to see which one they do game two, because I know Aki is the most confident when it comes to Sword and Shield, but who knows? That would be interesting if Rob picked that game too. But I know Rob's got a really, really strong Gen 7 team, so that will be exciting to see too. How you doing, Dylan?
Yeah, I'm good. I just watched through the first game. Came for game two. Wouldn't mind seeing it go to a third game. Just for the entertainment.
Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys thinking Robjr Gen 7?
I kind of think so. I saw their matchup in Sword and Shield, and like it kind of looks like it's in Aki's favor more so than the other one, but like I don't know how Rob views it. Like if he'd rather go for something that's kind of like a better on paper matchup, or if he'd rather go like maybe he's just more comfortable in Sword and Shield in general. So like.
Since when was there 8 gens? What are you guys talking about?
That boy's stuck in the past. He's never moved past the I gotta say one thing about Rob though is the playing is like high intensity kind of positions where he might be down or his team might be relying on him for a win. So I don't think Rob will be too tilted by that like first game loss. I think he'll be able to bounce back from that pretty well because he's a pretty experienced player. So
Absolutely.
It should be a good game too.
Yeah, I think that's a great insight because we've played on teams with Rob even in like Smogon tournaments, and he's the kind of guy that you don't mind relying on in a tough situation because he kind of like takes himself out of the game. Doesn't really have a big ego, despite like how well he does. He's just he likes to play, he likes to win, and yeah, he never really backs down from a challenge. So I agree. I don't think he'd be too tilted from this.
Great, this should be good. And I think Aki's just dropped the link, so.
Cool.
Yeah, they picked 10-7.
Who's that who joined?
Blue.
Oh, what's up, Blue?
Hey.
Hey. These guys need to stop hiding
Oh, it's
again.
invite only.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so the game's unhidden. It's Suicune versus Garchomp right now.
Yeah, I'm in. Cool. Okay, we missed a turn. All right, so it starts out with Rob's Torn, Aki's Garchomp. You turn out on the Garchomp, revealing that the Garchomp is indeed a Garchomp, and Aki gets up his Stealth Rocks, and Poison Jabs the Suicune gets the poison on the first turn, but no Scald Burn. So that is another extra bit of luck for the GOAT. As here, Aki brings in his Uxie on an Ice Beam, takes a crit, but probably is only about an extra like 7 or 8%. As here, Aki goes with a hard Thunder Wave, as Rob stays in with the Coon.
This is looking like Rascoon the way Rob's playing it.
Yep, agreed.
Yep.
Yep.
And because he's got Scald and Ice Beam, he's either obviously Rest Talk or he's Toxic on that last move.
Yeah, I wonder, because he had the Chesto there.
I wonder if he's extra sensory to sort of not allow Kel to sub up
Yeah, good point.
and to threaten Quillfish. I guess it depends how the rest of his team needs those mons weakened down or moves, but
And Aki getting the
yeah.
yacht or citrus rather on the Chomp. That was
So here he didn't predict. I think he predicted Rob to switch out on the right go.
I think so too. That definitely covered both plays too. So that was a good play by Aki. As here he T-waves the Suicune but takes the Skull Burn, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, this Coon is really causing some problems to Aki. I don't really see how he can break it apart from getting Raikou.
Right. And then he misses on the
Thunderwave
torn.
missed.
That's big. Oh man.
That's
I think-
unfortunate.
I think we need to @Cos for this one for T-Wave getting nerfed.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, we do. And like last game too, because for example, you had Chansey outspeeding Jirachi, and I'm just like, that's not how it should work.
Yeah, Gen 6 or like T-Wave is pretty brutal.
Ah, you got it.
The GOAT.
Yeah, that's big because I'm pretty sure there's no heal Belmont on Rob's team, right? Like Darkrai doesn't randomly get it, or maybe it does. I don't know. So,
Bro, I know that hoof had a hurt right there.
yep.
It's gonna make it tougher for Rob to check his to even use like a Torn versus the Raikou now. He can't even knock a U-turn out. He's gonna be forced into that Nidoking. Scarfed Blue from Rob's side looking incredibly threatening though in this late game.
Very, very true.
Yeah, but Grassy Glide kind of cleans though, right?
I thought you didn't. I thought you didn't know about Gen 8.
Oh, wait, what? Huh? Yeah, I'm curious how is he gonna actually deal with Bulu in general? I mean, because Chomp's already burned its item. I'm not sure what kind of.
Yeah. I guess if it is scarfed, he has to play pretty carefully with his Sharpedo because he could take advantage potentially of a scarf lock Bulu to get off like a free like attack protect or an attack if he predicts him to switch. But it definitely.
And one.
I guess is that Mega Aggro in the back?
Yes.
It is Mega, yeah.
Okay, so he's got a defensive check to Sharpedo every time unless he's mixed.
Is Carson?
And even then,
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just kind of low.
Hi,
yeah, I can hear him.
My bad.
So right now, Aki has to figure out a way to deal with this Suicune.
Oh.
Ooh, that mist was big.
Now the
This is
Dark Ride
big.
too.
Yeah, this Dark Ride is in a prime spot unless he's got a Scarfer or he's got Protect on Sharpedo. This is looking bleak.
Oof.
Yeah, unless he's HP Poison Raikou in an extra century, I don't see a way for Aki to win this one at this point in time because, once again, as Dylan said, you got the Aggron for Sharpedo. It's like, what do you actually win with at this point in time?
I think we're getting a game 3, which is unfortunate for Aki, but exciting for us. So.
Yep, that is true.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
No play.
Oh my god.
He's banking on clicking Psychic again. Oh.
Yeah, that was very risky from Aki, but it could have really paid off.
Aggron's in. If this gets up rocks here, that's actually bad.
Yeah, I would think that's.
He might too. He might get up rocks in case he's fearing the Destiny Bond. So.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I get this new bond in Gen 7.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Ask Maddie.
Yep, it sure does. Yep, good play.
Yeah, made sense.
Yikes.
And that means Shark is dead when it switches in.
I wonder how much.
He doesn't get Healing Wish, right?
Memento only.
Has he revealed?
That's
He
why I
hasn't
love
revealed
Memento so
Z
much.
or an item on Mesfrit yet too. Yeah, you're right. It could be Z Memento.
Oh right, true with the Z. Yep.
Yeah, that could act as a healing wish, basically.
Yep.
Alright, Aki, I hope this is the most godly Raikou set of all time.
Right. Man, I'm wondering about like the skull damage from a Kel to a Darkrai, like if that would have put him in range of like a Life Orb or 2, because if it was, that might have been worth it.
Right, as opposed to missing the Focus Blast.
Right?
Could have
I
been.
don't know. Because that Keldeo with the Torn Paralyzed is looking so good.
Agreed. Definitely, especially if it's a way of breaking Coon.
Yeah. I think he was either subcombine or like subtoxic or something, so it could. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was subcombine.
Okay, so he's lost his Aggron, so Sharpedo's... If he can revive Sharpedo, it's looking a little bit more dangerous.
That's true. That's true.
It gets P-Jab, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing, though, is he's got to figure out a way to Z momentum with Uxie, so he can't do it versus Darkrai. He's got to pick. He might not be able to do it versus Bulu, so he's got to force Raikou out to force the Nidoking, and then Z momentum versus Nidoking into Sharpedo.
I think you're right. I think that's the approach he's going to have to take.
Yo,
Because right here he sacks Torpedo. No, sorry.
Yeah.
No, I meant sack Keldeo. Go Raikou. Do some wild shit with that. Hopefully he doesn't go Boo. Because that's the thing. Bulu might be able to just win right here.
yeah, Scarf Boo looks like a menace. Oh yeah, the Uxie's only at 58, so that's definitely got to be in range of a Scarf Woodhammer.
Right. So it literally just comes down to Bulu speed tiers. Uxie versus Bulu, maybe.
Right.
Unless Rob chokes and goes out into something else. Like if he goes Nidoking to respond to Raikou, then Aki's got a chance.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, I think in this scenario, this Shark might have a chance no matter what. Yeah, I think it honestly
I feel
might.
like since he didn't sack Shark, that almost guarantees he's Memento. Or else I would have sacked Shark there to keep Keldeo.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
This just can't flinch. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
I
he's
think the Shark
poisoned.
has a chance no matter what. I mean, not no matter what, but like depending on Rob's sets, because he brings in the Nidoking on this. I don't know.
I think that confirms that he's
It's
not
not
Scarf
Scarf.
Bulu.
Yeah.
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 Well, hold on. The other thing you got to consider is that he could be the poison resist berry on Bulu, which can take a hit from
Right.
Shark.
I think
That's what I'm thinking,
Rob's
yeah.
main way to win right now because, for example, like he doesn't even have to. Oh, that's AV Nidoking. He doesn't even have to Mega Evolve his or try to protect on his Shark because it outspeeds everything because the Torrent's paralyzed.
Here it is.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, if Aki wins right here,
Yep, he might as well stay in and get that speed boost probably because.
The only Mon UDL allows you to not speed boost,
Yeah.
just in case Scarf Bulu.
Right, exactly. He might as well try to get that in if this liquidation kills, yeah. Because there is always a chance it could be Scarf Bulu, but it's not likely because he didn't bring it in before. But yeah,
I think Rob would have identified that Scarf Bulu just won at that point.
exactly, me too. It's got to be the poison resist.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, game 3.
Yep.
Exciting stuff.
Yep.
That was solid prep from Rob. Rob did get a bit lucky with the miss, but like team wise, prep wise, like that was a good build from him.
Yeah, absolutely. It really was. Yeah, I wonder how that game plays out without the focus blast miss. Because, like, I was kind of surprised when he sent in the Keldeo there. I guess it probably was his only play, but, like, I was surprised because once he paralyzed the Torn, the Keldeo just looked so good in this game. But it looks like that might have been his only, like, immediate revenging option because Darkrai is so strong.
Yeah, agreed. That must have been defensible though, because that did 31 with a berry, so it would have done 61, right? Without a berry.
Yeah, I wonder.
Or am I doing the math there wrong?
No.
Well,
you're
he didn't
right.
get the strong job boost also though.
He didn't Mega Evolve his Shark.
True.
Yeah,
That definitely comes into it.
Imagine he was Ice Fang. I wonder if Mega Evolved Ice Fang killed there. I feel like it might have.
I would imagine that Rob EV'd that to live after one round of rocks if it's defensive, but
Yeah, you would think so.
he could have flinched, I guess.
Right.
Get that freeze.
Okay. They started.
maybe Aki EV'd his Sharpedo to live a hit from Bulu.
You never know. Yeah, you have to take everything into account.
Got a focus band.
Even if Aki had one of his classic, like, adamant, like, 4 ED attack Sharpedos, that still probably wouldn't even live like an absorb from Bulu. Yeah, that was 2 good games, so it's pretty exciting to get a game 3.
So
Yeah,
hopefully,
any thoughts on the matchup?
Did
do
they
either
start
of them
yet?
have
When there's a Volt, there's a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when looking at those matchups, it looked like Aki had like a lot of pretty effective Pokemon against Rob's team. Like, it didn't look like one of them, like either of the matchups seemed kind of lopsided, but it was just like a lot of Aki's Mons looked really good against Rob, but Rob also has just a pretty well-rounded team, so none of them were like
In
so amazing.
playoffs, has Aki gone mono Swish? I know he beat Crick and. What did he beat Crick in? He beat Crick and Swish. Did he beat Subby and Swish? Or
Yes.
did they play something else? Okay.
Wait, did he beat Sebi and Swish? I think he did.
I know Subby played Kaz and Swish.
Yo,
But I can't remember what they played.
Yeah, he beat Sabine Swish.
Yeah, I feel like there's no way he wouldn't have picked that.
It's a pretty interesting. I'm just looking at the matchup now. It's pretty interesting. Like, Rob's got the water type Urshifu, which is pretty hard checked by stuff like Amoonguss on Aki's team. I think Aki's definitely got the favor in the matchup
Me too.
this gen. So yeah, Rob's gonna really have to pull out some interesting prep to get around that.
In question of the day, Aki said that he felt he had a pretty good matchup and should be favored in Swish.
Yep, I feel that way too. Cause I looked at both teams when Aki was prepping, and like it just felt like a lot of his top mons all had a pretty good matchup, like good enough where they could run a pretty basic set and like be effective against Rob.
I think looking at Rob's team, like Marowak might be the difference
Yep.
in. I don't know. It looks to be the only offensive threat that can really break.
Yeah, it destroys everything on Aki's team. Like, I wonder if he had like some kind of trick room setup, which isn't really Rob's style, but if he did, I feel like that could potentially put in a lot of work.
Yeah, definitely.
No bias there. I feel like also if Rob had like a Donphan and a Dalmise, then his match would be
Oh, the only man to ever make Trick Room viable in draft, I swear.
Wait, doesn't Aki have a Lorantis to check the Delmise?
I think he does. He's got a Wailord, he's got Lorantis, he's got Comfy, he's got all the hard Trick Room counters.
Bro, do you think Lorantis can deal with Ronda Rousey in a 1v1 fight?
Under Trick Room.
Oh,
With a year of
yeah.
MMA training.
Whoever loses this finals game couldn't beat Ronda Rousey in a fight after a year of MMA training.
Beta!
What did Aki say? I'd smack that bitch.
Yeah.
Let's stomp that hoe.
Hoofer.
So they're taking their time in this game through. You know?
They are.
Aki went to go take a pregame shit.
Mid game, yeah.
Likely.
Yeah, this whole season it's mostly been Aki just grazing, just doing his typical goat grazing, but finally
Oh,
he's
there we
got a worthy
go.
opponent.
Yeah, this is really the finals that we wanted to see. Nice game 3.
Yep.
Let me guess, it's hidden. Oh, it's actually not.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. All right. So, Oh, Rob's got 2 Trick Room setters.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay.
even better.
Uh-oh.
Okay, but that's a legit threat though.
It is.
Yep.
But at the same time, I think a Zoomer under Trick Room at the same time is really scary because it could probably take a move from Marowak, maybe Poltergeist. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you're right.
I do think, knowing Aki's spreads, that Azuma will be able to chew at least one.
What's that
Or at this-
item that decreases speed and trick room?
Room service.
There we go. It's going to run that on Azu and just win.
Right.
Oh, wait. He's got a Volcarona. I don't see a single counter to sub-toxic Volcarona.
True. Wow, so Rob didn't bring
And
the
it
Urshifu.
tricks
That's
Discord
interesting.
for-
Which, like, it kind of makes sense because Aki's got really good natural checks, but it's just a pretty good mod.
Yeah, outside of Among Us, it does really nicely in this matchup. So,
Is that a regular
Just-
guard or a mega?
Regular.
oh, that's regular.
Yeah, we did
Alright,
the.
that was Gen 8.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're probably the only league right now where the very like finals, game 3 of finals is relying on Gen 8 DLC 1 meta.
So, in regards to Aki's team, I'm kind of curious how he's going to deal with Corviknight, in the sense of Bravebird has, Bravebird's very free versus Aki, so
hmm Yeah, it is, and this is a defensive. Isn't this a defensive, like Adamant Azu or something like that? No, it's impish. It's very defensive
Yep.
or attacks.
You just claim one here.
So what does
On
that
this
mean, Rob?
Marowak yet.
Hold on. What does that mean, leading Marowak?
I know that was
Does
interesting.
does that tell you that he's not Trick Room Marowak to lead that? I mean, because you would expect like Terrakion or something like that to be the lead. Lead Marowak is so weird.
I agree.
I think he might have been expecting lead Volk because of how amazing Volk matches up here. Like Volk expecting like a Crook lead or just any of his other 3 mons that matches up poorly versus
Yeah.
Volk and leading Marowak off the bat. I think he viewed Volk as the bigger threat than something like Azu or Tarak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's like a high reward lead.
Yeah, exactly.
He's popping.
Yep. That's a cool tech. I love the nickname.
Can you pronounce it for me?
Use Marina.
Nice.
I actually don't understand what that means, by the way.
Like back in
I
early
did
Gen
34.
7 wow, that's crazy. Back in early Gen 7, I just had this meme because it might have even started in Gen 6 because NJMP was going really far in the official Smogon tournament, and like he was asking a lot of us for help prepping, and I was just telling him to use like random mons, like use like Executor, like use Tauros, just random stuff that he was never going to use. So like that just became like a meme that I did, and then I did it in the beginning of Gen 7 where I'd be like, use Comfy, use Lorantis, and Aki has those nicknames with his Pokemon where he'll call like Primarina the Reener or something. He's doing that for his names and just switching up the Pokemon based on the type. Oh my god.
Ooh, we predicted Whimsicott
He
there.
did.
Yeah, this is no Aquajet Azu as well, so
Oh no, Aquajet. Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
He showed all of his moves.
He's showing all 4.
So Aki still wins this exchange, getting rid of Corviknight, which helps up freeze stuff like Amoonguss and Terrakion.
Right.
Well,
Definitely.
That was
But maybe Rob's okay with that because it opens up this Azu, which is a massive threat to his team, as you mentioned earlier.
yeah.
Logan Wax going to go in.
Well, this is a risky
yeah.
card.
Oh, yes.
Psycho cut.
That
Whoa.
was
That was crazy.
Today I
Bro.
learned Hackers gets like
that was crazy.
Bro.
That was a great turn for Aki.
Yeah, that was. Use the Rhymer. Mr. Rhyme isn't even the same type.
Yes, it is.
Interesting.
Oh,
Reveals
man.
AG.
Volt Vest. Hmm.
Oh man.
That's pretty bad having this
Yeah.
thing scarfed.
Aw.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Rocky.
If it was
Selfless
AV
too,
though, would it
that's-
be like max speed or like a fast Haxorus though? So maybe you can still outspeed it with like.
True, it's unlikely that it's fast. It's probably Volk and to take a hit from Hydreigon.
He's really got to preserve Azumarill now because he's Choice Scarf Haxorus. So
Yeah, true.
You know,
Good point.
and the other thing is that he might not have the correct speed tiers versus Choice Scarf Haxorus. So
Yeah, very good point.
I think, was that Blue who mentioned though earlier? Like, I think Blue's right. If this is a fat Axorus, it's probably still going to be outsped by something like
It could potentially, yeah.
a really fast Terrakion or something.
Right.
It'll be bulky though. It'll be able to take it from everything bar the Hydreigon. So
It's true.
yeah, this Axorus is looking nasty.
It's true. I'm thinking because I haven't seen Rob's team builds in a while, but I know his spreads normally weren't like, crazy complex. So I know he'd probably like make some pretty safe speed creeps. I think so. I would be surprised if this didn't outspeed everything.
If this Haxorus has 0 speed investment and Terrakion is absolute max speed, Terrakion outspeeds by 1 point.
Okay, yeah. So there you go. Thank you for letting us know.
I guess, yeah, because Haxorus at like base speeds, it's still 97 base speed, so
Yeah.
it's still relatively fast.
That's solid.
So if you're Aki, what do you click here? Because Haxorus is forced out because it's locked in a poison jab.
I think he's got rocks on this, which he might go for. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah.
Rocks.
I think Rob might want to get his own rocks up here. As risky as that seems.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aki just plays it safe that turn. But
And it's just
now,
something like Goggles Reuni or something like that to abuse this Among Us.
Yeah. Knocks it. Takes some help.
okay, so he's probably not Goggles Rooney if he made that play.
Good point. Yeah, this is interesting because now, like you said, preserving the Azumarill would be important, but like you can't even come in on rocks more than once. So that thing is looking more and more like a sack as he actually goes.
And he's boots on win.
On wins, yeah.
Just
So I'm kind of curious what Rob predicted because Rob probably predicted Aki to switch out of Mungus, but I'm kind of curious what Wim has for things like Stun Spore, something like that for Volk.
Yeah, true.
And the thing is, do you know what the Hydreigon is?
I do. Yeah, it's like Roost. Is Roost Dark Pulse Fire Blast Draco? I think.
That's looking good as long as you can deal with the Choice Scarf Haxorus, because obviously that's getting scarier as time goes on.
Yup.
Unless Terrakion does outspeed Haxorus.
What kind of Volk is this?
It's it's Roost Dual Stab QD. See how much.
this Volk is looking really dangerous. Marowak's the only real thing that can.
Right.
Yeah, that's not a check at all.
Use the Scorcher.
Yeah, one more 10 rocks and it's gone.
Dang, this is looking pretty tough for Aki because if he can't knock this Marowak out right here, then that just claims. Actually, not necessarily. Yeah.
Oh, he gets him with a low kick. That was a strong play from Rob.
Because he's probably either going to go Hydra or Tarak, which covered both, so...
Yep.
It did. But knowing Aki, like, with his Volk spreads, like, we could have lived to hit. It wasn't that high risk, but it did have some risk attached to it, so I respect the play.
Right, and I think one thing, too, is, like, that Aki might have considered there is, because the Haxorus is AV, there's a pretty decent chance that it has first impression.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Huh?
Oh, right, he's chopping.
Chopple.
Dang, that's actually a threat versus Rob. It'd probably
Quick
take.
attack, I'm assuming.
I think it was Rock's dual stab.
What's the point? Hack's just revenges.
So the next couple plays, Marowak's obviously going to get sacked. He goes Whim, and then what does Aki do from there?
Quick attack.
I think no, I think the thing is though, if you get Hackers to come in and revenge, it gives Volk a setup opportunity.
Yeah, I think he's got to go Whimsicott and then
Yeah.
have Taunt or something like that to prevent.
Yeah, I mean, he actually gained momentum way earlier in the game. Forget what turn it was, but he brought Whimsicott in earlier, so...
Use the Plumer.
I don't get the SD play then, especially since it's just like swapped out.
I'm not sure either. The only thing I could think of is if he thought like some kind of Chopple Crook, or like if Ryuni switches in and he wants to like do some amount of damage, but that's the only thing I can think of.
He just wanted to guarantee himself a kill.
So if he U-turns out here into... Yeah, he's going to U-turn out. Yep. You can really let Reunion in there.
Use me, so I guess I'm interacting. I still want to know a little more about Aki's hard switch into Gardevoir and then staying in. You know, like I know there had to be godly thought process behind it, but like, was it worth it? Is the question.
See, if you think about it, the more you think about it, you realize like Robjr's not GOAT status, so
He can't understand those levels of.
right.
Interesting.
I think he has to SD here, right? Oh.
Oh, good play by Aki.
Ooh.
I wonder if Rob's got anything on this Whimsicott.
Well, this is going to be the turn right here.
Yeah, I think so. I wonder if Aki will even bother scouting at this point, or if it's now or never.
Yeah, it's now or never.
Oh.
You think he's Kangaroo?
Interesting.
Wait, okay, does Volcarona have Quiver?
I'm almost positive. Unless he made like a...
I'm pretty sure it does.
I guess he was fearing an Encore.
Yeah,
Well,
at
I
that
mean,
point he doesn't
actually-
really lose anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm guessing this Hackstress is gonna have Rock Slide.
He's Chopple and Boots. New meta.
Because
I mean, he did bring in Assault Vest Haxor, so that could act as like somewhat of a Volk check, just because Volk's just scary versus his team.
yeah, so I think this is gonna be Rock Slide, but now this is interesting because Aki's got to switch here. He's got to get Volk to +1, and it actually might just win here. You see, because unless this Reuniclus, like you said, is Tanga and has some kind of like way to revenge the Volcarona, then
Well,
how does he?
and as mentioned before, though, Rob also has a couple outs if he does have Encore Whimsicott and goes hard Whimsicott on Volk to never allow it to Quiver Dance.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. He could be... Whimsicott gets taunt, doesn't it, Matty?
It does.
You've used it.
Yep.
It does, yeah. So he can prevent it from doing anything with taunt.
That is true. That is true.
I think if Reuni's something like Sash, Trick Room with Shy Shock or something like that, it's not going to kill Volk, but it might, if you can weaken Volk enough, like Outrage from Axis or something, it could put him in range. But Volk's looking really dangerous here.
It really
You know, I actually do think he's Sash on Reuni because you saw earlier in the game when it was Reuni versus Tarak, he then
Yes.
went pivot out into Crook, preserving the potential Sash.
Yep. Very good.
Exactly, yeah.
When Psyshock was free that turn.
The thing that makes this interesting though, because I don't know Aki's spread off the top of my head with his bulk, but you know it's going to be bulky as hell. So like he's going to have to weaken the bulk a lot to be able to knock it out with a side shock. Ooh, that's big. That thing can't even come in again, so that's actually huge. All right.
From what he sent me, it's 168 HP, 252 defense. So it's it's fat.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Alright, so this is
Oh no,
Ooh.
yeah, this is GG.
Sash, you reckon?
On what?
Sash or Tango?
Yeah.
I think we're right. I think it is Sash, based on how he's playing it.
Yep. Yeah, very well played on Rob's part. Aki made some sick plays here to like put himself in it, but wow.
With the guard play though.
Yeah.
No, this was a really well played final. It was just obviously unfortunate for our boy to see it go like that. But
It was. I do just question like the risk versus reward on that earlier play with the guard because like he was really adamant about like not only switching into it but then keeping it in despite the risk that he knew it was assault vest. So like
yeah, that was I'm really curious about Rob's stats here
me
because
too.
that's yeah. Had Amungus won that speed tie, Whimsicott wasn't encore, then click foul play or Giga or something like that. Amungus could have won.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he had a slow Amungus. Wow, that was a well played finals.
Really was.
Fortunate for our boy, but
I know.
yeah, congrats to Rob.
Rob really hung in there. I think Dylan said it best when like Rob isn't the type to really get too tilted, and even though he had a little bit of bad luck in the early game, he just kind of like shook it off, came into the next two games, did what he had to do, and yeah, Rob went from like
I think he was like 2-8 or something like that last season.
Carson, did he win most improved or was that TJ?
No, he won it because TJ took over a team. So
Right. Okay. Yeah, so Rob won most improved, and like that.
Yeah, I think he was 2-6, like -10 or something like that differential last season. Aki says he wanted a Loverboy hoodie, right?
Yeah, good stuff, boys. I'm gonna go and get some more sleep. Catch you later.
Peace.
See ya, boy.